Hey guys, it's Damien. Tonight's video, I'm actually going to cover a question that I had from one of my viewers. This evening on Marketing Food Online, I'm actually going to go over a viewer in Canada who requested a video in regards to selling food internationally and what exactly would be needed to get either like an approval or to initiate some type of food business and start something in Canada and then ship that internationally. So behind me, I wrote down some notes and I'm going to go over those notes really quick. So let me hop right into it. So you're in Canada and you want to sell internationally, that's fantastic. Just be aware of the 5 following things behind me that may affect you based on your province and territory, okay? So the first thing I want to get off with is extra provincial regulations. You may need to register in those provinces in regards to your extra provincial registration. So in the province that you're specifically doing business in, of course you need to register with that province. But from my research that I found out to follow up with this video, I found that you actually may need to also register your business with the province or territory in which you are shipping your product to. So if you are in one, let's say province A, and you're shipping to province B, you've got 2 separate areas that you need to make sure that you actually may need to register with. And what I'm going to do really quick is, when I'm done with my video, down in the description, I will add a link to the very, very informative website that I found on the Canadian laws about food businesses and also just shipping in general and international and doing shipping within Canada. It's very, very informative and it will definitely answer many, many more questions than the 5 that I will answer tonight. I could probably sit here and do a video for 3 hours on all the information that I was able to find for you. But these 5 are certainly something that's very, very important if you're beginning this food business. So, number 2, incorporation either federally or provincially, either on a federal level or a province level. You need to again check within the area that you're specifically doing the business in and see exactly how you need to incorporate that. You may want to talk to some professionals. I guess that would be obviously some legal assistance to ask questions. Sorry about that, phone was ringing. Okay, so really quick, so we're back to what I was talking about, registering and incorporating. The one thing that's kind of tricky about that, I also found when I was researching this, is that you may also need to register yourself, like I mentioned before, with another province or another territory if you're going to do business, okay? When you incorporate, you may have to do it on both those levels, but again, check with some legal advice within the province that you are in Canada, because their laws will be more specific. I personally don't know those laws in particular about that in regards to incorporation in Canada, okay? So the other thing is the Consumer Protection Acts. Provinces also have a variety of Consumer Protection Acts. You may need to also be aware of those. Again, shipping from one place to another, they vary quite a bit. So they want to make sure that you're aware of the Consumer Protection Acts, and that's super, super important as far as a legal standpoint and protecting yourself. If you're doing food, of course, you want to definitely do that. Pretty much any business that you're going to be doing, but you're shipping from province to province, you may want to look those up, okay? Terms and conditions for your online store. So when you are actually creating an online business, whether you're selling food or not, of course, this video in particular is about food, but you want to spell out your do's and your don'ts, what you actually are doing with your website, what you're selling, the products, what the customer can expect, your refund policy, your shipping policy, your turnaround time, if you're making things from scratch, how long does it take to produce products. Terms and conditions are super important, especially when you want to build the faith and trust of your consumer and your customer. They see that. I actually have one on my site. I actually have about 2 or 3 pages on my site that spells out all the terms and conditions and expresses to the customer exactly what they can expect. And of course, if something goes wrong, if you ship an item and the food gets damaged, maybe it's due to heat, it gets damaged. If it gets shipped and in the box itself gets destroyed and you've got a problem, then your customer knows what to expect, that you're going to send a replacement. We're happy to refund it, etc., etc. So terms and conditions on your website are super, super important to build up a trustworthy website, okay? Taxes for out-of-province sales. This was something that's really interesting. If you are, again, shipping a product to another province, here in the U.S., if you are shipping a product within a certain state, we would have to collect taxes on that unless you have a business presence in another state. For instance, Walmart, to my knowledge and understanding, Walmart has a presence in every state, so they have to collect taxes on every transaction that takes place on the internet because of that presence that they have. Now, when it comes to an out of province, again, to be more specific, the website that I'm going to give you will have more specific information about that because I personally do not live in Canada, but I don't know their taxation from province to province, and it may vary from different provinces. So to find out the specifics on that website will definitely help you out. But again, these are the top 5 things that I could find out that would definitely get you started to give you a better understanding of where to go. Okay? So your taxation, again, may be different. Now, no matter where you're shipping from, if you're shipping from Canada to the U.S. or U.S. to Canada, this is something that I can definitely speak on experience from in the following few things. You have to understand that customs in other countries may confiscate your product or may confiscate your shipment and dispose of it. If it is an item that is not allowed in the country, they will not deliver it to the customer. Okay. Now, some of the research when I first started doing my business, which was going online with it, I needed to understand that because I started to ship it to about 13 different countries, is that some countries don't let nuts. There's certain nuts that can't come in. Certain spices, believe it or not, that are not allowed in. And if you're into doing gold or silver coins, there's certain types of currencies that are not allowed in. So it can be very tedious. Here in the States, in the United States, we've got the Postal Service website has a huge resource that tells you by country a list of products that are allowed and not allowed. Okay. In Canada, it would be the same thing as well. I don't think it would be as strenuous going from province to province because you're still within Canada. But once you're going to another country and you're crossing over that line into another country from Canada to the U.S. and so on, the U.S. again also has custom agents that double check boxes as they come in. And if there's something that's hazardous or dangerous, they will confiscate it and just basically throw it away. So if the reason why I say that is that when it comes to food, you may have multiple ingredients. Now, if there's something that's put into that again cannot be brought into the country, if it happens to be seen during a customs inspection, it will be disposed of. Okay? So again, that covered the 2 dangerous and hazardous items. Again, dangerous and hazardous, if you're shipping chemicals and things of that sort, I would not recommend that. You have to get special permits and special, you have to actually get allowed to and get certified and allowed to be shipping those types of things when it comes to chemicals or things that can be dangerous to the recipients or the ones that are carrying the mail. You don't want to do that. So duties and taxes. This is also something that's very, very important. If you're shipping a high-priced item or if you're shipping a lot of items and it accumulates to a large amount of money, duties and taxes may be expected when they are brought into the country. So if you want to keep that in mind, if you happen to be making a food product in Canada and you're shipping it to the United States and it's a large amount, you may need to get a certificate or a certain type of license to allow that. It would be something to the effect of an import-export license, and that's on a much bigger scale. So just keep that in mind. If you grow your business, that may be needed. So lastly is check your specific province. So at the end of the day, it is all up to the regulations and laws within the province that you specifically live in order for you to begin and to start a food business. Now, one thing I did find out in Canada, any type of food products, they don't actually have what's called a cottage food law. They don't have those in place in Canada from my research that I looked online. So a lot of the food products are recommended by the provinces that we're going to direct you probably to go to a commercial kitchen, which would be a place that you can actually rent. And from what I noticed online is that those prices per hour are very cheap compared to the U.S. I was seeing some of them that were between $10 to $20 an hour, which is extremely cheap. That would allow you to go to a facility, rent the space, produce your food product, and then ship it and sell it. Okay. In the U.S., they have the same thing. Commercial kitchens here are very expensive. From what I've noticed, they can actually go from $25 up to about $200 an hour, depending on the facility, depending on what is there, the type of equipment that they're giving you, the scheduling. There's a lot of factors. But from what I noticed in Canada, there is a big need for, and there's a large expansion of community kitchens or kitchens that can be used within the community, considered commercial kitchens. So those might be places that you can check out if you can't make the product in your home or you can't produce it in your kitchen. You can go to a commercial kitchen and rent the space, which is fantastic. The other great thing about that is Many of the cottage kitchens, the home-based businesses where you're baking food or making some type of food, they require a lot of money to get the equipment to start, okay? I know that when I started out, it was just, again, in our home, in our kitchen, we started very small. Now with the facility that I've got, we've got a lot of commercial tables, ovens, shipping department, and all that put together. It's quite of an investment, but it's been built over years. It didn't happen overnight, so don't expect that, okay? But the beautiful thing is that you can expect to have a commercial kitchen completely furnished and has everything that you need, and that's instantaneous. You know, once you sign a contract, you rent the space, it's yours, and you can make as much food as you possibly can, and then you're selling it. So think about that. You can rent a commercial kitchen. It's going to save you a ton, okay? And if you're not familiar with the layout of a kitchen and you wanted to try to rent a commercial kitchen at first to kind of get the feel for it, then transition into getting your own facility, commercial facility and equipment, then you'll understand the operations and how it actually is laid out. Because that's something a lot of people don't understand. They're not familiar with how everything is actually strategically placed to make it more efficient for you to produce your food. So if you're in Canada, and again, thank you for that question. I hope that information will at least get you started. And again, down in the description, I'll have a great website that you can go to. It's very informative. If you have any other questions, let me know down below. And I was curious to know, whatever type of food products you guys are making, give me a little bit of a note. Drop it down in the description. Tell me if there's something that maybe you're not producing yet, but you would be interested in producing. And I can try to help you out with that, okay? So if my video was informative, do give me a big thumbs up. If you did not like it, give me a thumbs down. I always appreciate honest opinion. And again, check out Marketing Food Online 2, my second channel. If you are looking for consultation and you want to consult with me directly via email, I have email consultations available. And I'm actually rolling out a new line of services that I will have available, everything from paid hourly consulting, as well as a few other options. If you are selling on Etsy or eBay and you need some shop evaluations, I'm going to start offering that as well to help those who are trying to sell food products online. I can critique some of your shops and let you know exactly what I've been able to do. And I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching.